talk to these subjects during the break in a kind of warm-up situation to condition their thinking. And I'm going to show you one or two tests. In fact, what is your first name?
Paul.
Paul? Paul, stand if you will, Paul. Stand about here, in fact, just about this point. You might take, if you will, in fact, let me have you stand over here so that you can just turn facing me. Place your feet close together. Come one or two steps closer, Paul. Now, Mesmer felt he used to use magnets to cause people to react. Then he found out it wasn't the magnets that were doing it, it was his hands. He felt his hands gave out some strange force. We know it wasn't his hands, it was the power of suggestion. Paul, you stand as straight as you wish, but watch my hand. Watch my hand. It's the most amazing phenomenon. It's the most amazing phenomenon. And you're not doing that deliberately, are you, Paul? What seems to be happening? You can speak loudly. What seems to be happening?
It feels weird.
It feels weird. That's a conservative remark. As a matter of fact, it's a pulling. It's the most unmistakable pulling. Try to stand as straight as you will, and yet it's a force pushing you, Paul. Try to stand, and yet it becomes so strong. Try to stand as straight as you will. It's impossible to resist. Impossible. It really pulled you, didn't it, my friend? Sit right down. An excellent subject. Thank you very much, folks. Excellent. Beautiful. Weird feeling. Well, I'll tell you, folks, how would you describe what happened near the end when you were being pulled? What did it seem like, the sensation?
I just felt that I didn't have any legs anymore, just straight down.
And you were not doing that deliberately in any way, were you?
No.
Now, I'm going to show you something, also rather fascinating. I'll ask this gentleman here to stand right where he is. Stand, if you will, let the backs of your legs touch the chair. What's your first name?
It's Henry.
Henry?
Yes.
Henry? Now, Henry, what's going to happen, if you look at me for a moment, when you close your eyes, now you've sat many times in your life, you're going to be pulled into the chair. You won't fall. It's as if your knees will be pulled forward and you'll slowly be forced to sit down. All right, now, Henry, close your eyes. Close your eyes. In fact, it's the most amazing phenomenon. Already, Henry, your knees are starting to bend forward. They're starting to bend forward, bending forward, 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 because something seems to be pulling you back into a sitting position. So strong, indeed, so strong, you're going to be pulled into the chair almost momentarily. It's happening already. Already you're being pulled, pulled, all the way back. You're going to have to sit down in a moment. You're going to have to sit down, all the way, pull. That wild? Exactly how it felt, Henry, because it was a... Henry, you tell me, how did that feel?
Well, it was, I don't know, it's so astounding.
And you were not doing that in any way deliberately, were you, Henry?
No.
And I never did that with you before, did I?
Never before.
Now, I'm going to show you something which is kind of a collective response that becomes strangely remarkable. All of you. The chairs, don't worry about them. They will not slide because we are using rugs. I want all of you to stand. Just as Henry did, Henry as well. Stand. Have the backs of your legs touching the chair. Although, quite frankly, as you start to be pulled into your chair, your knees are going to bend forward because you're going to find yourself being forced to sit down. Now, don't close your eyes yet. The interesting thing this time is that it happens faster because we are all more suggestible in groups, which is why riots don't work very well when they only apply to one person. Are all of you standing? Look at me. Not that you're hypnotized, you're not. You're wide awake. Now, close your eyes. And then close your eyes, all of you. It's amazing how easily, how rapidly, once the first person sits, it spreads like a wave. There she goes. The knees are bending forward. They're all going back, being pulled back, being pulled in the chair, back, being forced to sit down. You're having to sit down, like a leaning tower. Oh, I thought it was going to go over. All the way back. In fact, as I count to 3, all the way back. 1, further, 2, you're being pulled faster than ever. 3, you're being pulled all at once. Last one, but the most strong, I would say. Thank you very, very much, folks. Excellent response. How would you describe that? How do you describe that?
It's stunning.
And how did it feel to you, ma'am?
No, I couldn't control myself.
We normally, with our eyes closed, tend to sway and lose our balance, but to have it pulled in a direction is pure suggestion. Now, when we return, we're going to answer the enigma suggested by Bill Luxton regarding a chair and the strangeness of temperature change. Be back after the following commercial. Thank you. Well, the important thing, folks, is that you're not in a trance, you're wide awake, you're wide awake in every way, am I correct? Yeah. You haven't been asleep during this whole demonstration, am I correct?
That's quite true.
Maybe the quality of the no, I don't want to say that. What were you laughing at, my friend? What's your name?
Judy.
Judy, you find this an interesting experience?
Oh, it's wild.
And would you believe this happened while you were wide awake? It's kind of hard to believe, am I correct?
Sure is.
Well, I want to show you something regarding the power of suggestion. In fact, I'm going to ask you just to stand for a moment to the right here, a little off to the right. I'm going to talk to this gentleman over here. May I ask you, you wonder why I'm talking to you. I never saw such suspicion. What's your name again?
Paul Harris.
Paul, certainly I don't know you personally, am I correct? Are you going to school or are you working or what?
Working on construction.
On construction. How long have you been doing this?
2 years now.
All right. Paul, would you want to stand up for a moment and just examine your chair? There's no wiring to it, am I correct? You can pick it up and look at it. Is there anything suspicious about it?
No.
No way? Would you suggest that there's any wires attached to it?
No, no.
Not in any way. That was a cultural answer. Sit down, Paul, if you will. You know, Paul, you've been in experiences where things, the atmosphere, the weather becomes very warm. Am I correct? Now, as I talk to you, it's the most amazing thing. You're not going to believe this at first. In fact, you'll probably end up by examining the chair. But as I talk to you, the temperature of the chair, amazingly enough, can begin to change. In fact, you'll probably start to notice it already, just as I'm talking to you. What's the matter?
It's getting a bit warm.
It's getting a bit warm. Well, the lights are hot here in the television studio. This is a color pardon me?
The chair's getting warm now. That's not the lights.
The chair's getting warm. It's not the lights. Yeah, it's getting warmer, in fact.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Try to stay in it as long as you can. Be determined, Paul, to stay in that chair as long as you possibly can. But as long as he hears what's the matter, Paul?
Get roast rump.
I hope we don't have to bleep that out of the thing. Try to stay in there. Matter of fact, have you ever, Paul, been sitting on a fire? You never have you?
No, no, no.
I hate to think what happens when I count to 3. 1, 2, 3. It's just one of those. Paul, that's hot, isn't it? It stays hot, too. As much as you try, you can't sit in it. Paul, try to sit in the chair and make believe there's nothing wrong with it. Try to sit all at once in the chair, please.
Yeah.
Just relax all at
Sure
once.
now?
Sit down. It's pretty bad, huh, Paul?
Yeah.
You could. How would you describe it?
Hot.
I think, Paul, you better sit over here. I'm going to have this kind gentleman change places. Come over here and sit down. And give him a hand. He really deserves it. Come over there and sit down, please. Pardon me?
This one feels a bit warm.
That one feels warm also? Paul, this is a complication I didn't anticipate, folks. I give you my word. Sit over here, and Miss, will you come forward over here? The best thing to do, Paul, is to sit in it all at once as if there was nothing wrong. Make believe there's nothing wrong with it and sit all at once. Just relax. I'm sorry. Sit down. Pardon me?
It feels hot.
Well, I think that will pass in lieu of another kind of sensation. That will pass. It's no longer hot. In fact, it isn't hot now, is it, Paul? No. But you know, folks, my gosh, I never meant it to go from one chair to the other. Looks like our wires got crossed. As a matter of fact, all of you sitting here, you saw a fellow's chair as I conversed with him without any hypnosis, no trance, and they're not hypnotized, find that it became so hot he couldn't bear it. Well, heat can also be painful and take other forms. In fact, those of you sitting here, I'm just talking to you. It can, my friends, take other forms. Matter of fact, things often can happen just like this. Just one of these terrible situations that when they, what's the matter, sir?
It feels a little bit picky or something.
A little bit what?
Picky.
Picky, that's a new term. Picky. What's the matter, miss?
Somebody pinched me.
Somebody pinched her. The demonstration takes on a new quality. And unfortunately, folks, things like this they get stronger each time. And after all, I'm talking to them and things are happening like that. And it's a terrible situation when it, pardon me, Mr.
I didn't do nothing.
What's the matter, man?
I didn't do a thing.
Why are you looking at her like that for?
Well, I felt a blow from
Young man, what's the matter?
I don't know. Something's happening.
Huh? What seems to be the trouble, my friend?
It's
Of course, after a while, suspicion takes place. I can't blame because I'm talking and like this, you find something happening that's so absolutely terrible. So I got this fellow. What's the matter? I think he suspects what's going on. What's the matter, young man?
She got me. I saw her that time.
She what?
She pinched me. I'm positive.
You are positive. Miss, did you pinch her?
No, I sure didn't.
I would watch her very carefully, and because this can get real. Oh, I would watch her because after all, like that, to have things happen, in this way is a terrible situation. Miss, what's the matter?
I don't know.
Sir, what's the matter?
She did it again.
She did what again? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. What's your name?
Trent, sir.
Trent, where are you sitting in the audience? I'm going to ask you to return to your seat in the audience and watch your step as you go back there. There's nothing more than I'd like to have but great comfort for him. So let's let him. Your chair feels all right now?
Yes, quite comfortable.
Do you have any idea what was causing this, sir?
Him.
Pardon me, miss?
Him.
Him what?
Pinched me.
He what?
He pinched me.
Well, are you comfortable up there, Kent? Is your name Kent, sir? You comfortable up there? You feel comfortable there, don't you? I mean, there's no... Good. You feel relaxed and everything? Good. I like to make my subjects come because, you know, who would expect out of nowhere this to happen? And it's a terrible situation when it takes place. Oh, my gosh. I mean... what are you looking so... What happened, my friend? What happened? There's a girl coming in there. She's coming in. What seemed to happen, my friend?
I'll stand for a while.
Huh? What did he say, folks? You're going to stand for a while? You thought? Well, you can sit down later on. I'll tell you what, you people have been such fine subjects. I'm going to ask you, miss, if you would just do me a cute favor. Give him a little kiss on the forehead. Just give him a kiss on the forehead, real quick, please, if you will. Go ahead, give him a kiss. I have a reason for saying this, and I'm going to ask you, sir, to give this young gal a kiss on the forehead. Would you come over here? And, miss, would you give him a kiss on the forehead? These three people? Because all I'd like you folks to do, they've been kissed on the forehead. This is not the way to paralyze someone so they can't get out of their chair. But wouldn't it be amazing? Freud once said that love and hypnosis are equal in the first 2 months of marriage, that there's that kind of relationship. Since there's no hypnosis, they were only kissed. Would you all return to your seats, please? I thank you for coming up here. Miss, what's the matter?
I seem to be drawn back.
What's the matter, my friend?
There's glue on the seat, I think.
Well, these things do happen from time to time. Till next week, goodbye, everybody.